So if an agency came to you and said, Q, we got an apartment for you in Hollywood, indoors, services, job training, health benefits, would you take it?
Unfortunately, they have to make us a little bit uncomfortable for them to be comfortable.
Because it's not record inflation anymore. I'm bringing it down.
I'm not going to lie to you. There's a lot going on in the world, but I was enamored with this homeless story out of LA, and I think you will be too. Also, Joe Biden saying inflation is over. Elon Musk officially owns Twitter, the border crisis, so much more to get to. Maybe we'll get to it, but holy cow, this stupid LA homeless story is going to be nuts. Thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Jobob. This is Daily Color Live. Thanks so much for tuning in. It starts right now.
2, 1.
Here we go!
Might be the only brown guy on earth named Jobob.
That is actually her name, Jobob.
Live from the dingy bunker, completely cut off from the outside world, except for you fine folks. My name is Jobob. This is Daily Caller Live. Thanks so much for tuning in on today. It is Friday, October 28th, the year of our Lord 2022. And like I said, there is a story in Los Angeles that will blow your mind. If you've never watched past 30 seconds of this show, today is the day to do it. Obviously, there's stuff crazy going on in the White House, crazy going on around the world. Elon Musk now owns Twitter. There's a bunch of crazy stuff happening today specifically, but I watched this entire segment, and it's like a 10-minute segment. I cut it down to like 3.5 minutes that I'm going to show you guys, but that's probably like the longest clip we've ever had, but I physically could not cut it down any more than that. Morning, James. Morning, Bob. Both of them said good morning in the comment section. So anyways, I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to just play this video for you because Los Angeles is out of control. I understand, I don't want to focus on like hyper localized stories. I live in California. LA's right down the street. And so I tend to see this stuff more. But this is the local Fox 11 News in Los Angeles documenting a dude who literally built a house on the sidewalk. And for some reason, a lot of people are like just fine with it. I understand if you're in like rural Wisconsin, you're like, this is just a different world. But yeah, I have to show you this. This is unfreaking believable. Elaine says almost afternoon in New Jersey. A lot of people saying good morning. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I guess we'll also talk about Pelosi's thing, because I don't know if this is, if you guys aren't up on this, Paul Pelosi got attacked. I don't know if it was in the gated community or in his actual house. That could be related to this homeless insanity, or it could be political, which that is terrible and awful, and we should abhor that sort of thing. Anyways, watch part of this LA clip. Los Angeles is just out of control, and they've lost their mind there. If you haven't already, I see a couple thousand of you watching. Would really appreciate it if you click the little like button or the little share button, or leave us a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Oh, shoot. Sorry, I get to reading these comments. Somebody says, Denise says, anybody going to report about the diesel shortages? Yeah, that's a big issue. Maybe we'll dive deep on that on Monday. Anyways, check out this video from Los Angeles, the local news out there. It is unbelievable, and we're going to spend a decent chunk of time on this. Get ready.
It's a solid, well-built wooden structure, propped up by metal carts and car batteries. A power cord unplugged trails down the sidewalk, which is piled high with assorted power tools and electronics. Reaction? Mixed.
What do you think of that?
I don't like it. It's not good. It's bad.
It is a little out there, but he is safe and he doesn't have to worry about someone burning his tent down.
I don't even know like why or how, or I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy, to say the least.
Is this okay?
It's not okay that it's gotten to this point. The fact that he's here, I don't see an issue with it.
Anybody home? After I called the city and the LAPD to see what, if anything, is being done to help or clean up, police did come and talk to the man. They've been here before. They described him as young, healthy. They offered to connect him with services. He declined. They left. Summing up the municipal code, the only enforcement is if a person is blocking the sidewalk on an active driveway or business.
So that's just the first part of it. That's just the report. The reporter on the street detailing what's actually happening. You saw that he talked to some local people. You saw that the police came. The police were like, well, he's not killing anybody or actively blocking the. How is that not actively blocking the sidewalk? Look at this bigger picture of this. Like, I guess there's a small portion of the sidewalk that is still accessible, but how is that not blocking the sidewalk? Anyways, LAPD came and said, yeah, there's nothing we can do about this. Why? Why do I have a mortgage? Why do you pay rent? Why do we pay mortgage? Why do you have a mortgage? Why do you pay rent? Why do we do any of this stuff when we can apparently just build a one-bedroom studio apartment? One-bedroom studio apartment doesn't make any sense. A studio apartment on the sidewalk. Like, what? And I kid you not. There's like 5 segments of this video clip. Again, it's like a 10-minute video, and I cut it down to as short as I could, but it gets crazier. Watch this.
Meantime, across the street, where Jamila Ali and Rance Shaw run City Vibes Coffee, compassion is still on the menu.
He hasn't bothered anyone, and honestly, I'm glad that it's right there because I honestly feel safer with him there. What? For some reason, I don't know why. It's just he feels like he knows what he's doing and he's not here to hurt anyone.
Unfortunately, they have to make us a little bit uncomfortable for them to be comfortable. And I think that's just the problem in LA. No one realizes how much of a burden it can do to our mentality and just the way we carry ourselves.
I'm going to try to regain my composure. My wife and I, in our kitchen this morning before I came to the studio, were watching that entire video. Our jaws were both on the floor. Just how do people think this sort of thing? Maybe I want to get to some of these comments because this is nuts. James says, LA is out of freaking control. Correct. That is true. There's a comment from Jason that I'll bring up in a little bit because it plays a part, Jason, later on in this video. Pam says, why did I repay my student loan? Yeah, I don't know. Why? There's no such thing as needing to have any sort of anything anymore. Deb Fields says, kids aren't allowed to sell lemonade in their neighborhood, but this is okay? Yeah. Okay. Oh boy. Oh, there's some contrary comments too. This is interesting. So let me see. Let me hide this particular. This is there's a lot of the comments are going nuts right now. The part that blows my mind is that guy saying, "Well, he makes me feel safe." How, dude? And this is. I don't even know if I want to argue with those people at the coffee shop because then the other girl said, well, we have to feel a little bit uncomfortable so that they can feel comfortable. I was hoping about this much through this little segment. I was hoping it was some dude trying to prove a point because I've considered that. Not I don't know. I wouldn't actually say I've gotten anywhere near close to actually doing it, but I've considered just going to LA with a contractor and myself, pretty decent nowadays at building stuff, and just building a house on the sidewalk and just living there. Because in all reality, I would love to have a place in downtown. I have to go to downtown sometimes. I hate driving into downtown. It's a 45-minute drive with no traffic, but with traffic, it takes 3 effing hours. And I would love to just have a place in LA so that I can hang out, crash, take a little nap before I have to drive home and wait till traffic dies down. That would be fantastic. And apparently I can. I can just build something on the sidewalk and it's totally fine. Jackie said, did nobody notice him building this? I think they did. They just don't do anything. This continues on, and again, it gets even weirder. If you haven't already, would appreciate it. Click on the like button, the little share button would really help us out. Because, jeez. I'll read some comments while this next clip plays. Watch this.
Well, where did you get all the material and everything?
Well, I got most of the material from construction sites that threw away old wood, and then some friends of mine that had some wood left over, and then there was a shop across the street that had some old flooring.
You have electricity in there?
Yeah, I've got a generator over here.
So you've been offered housing, temporary housing from the city and other agencies,
right?
But you prefer this, or?
Well, I kind of do prefer this because it kind of gives me empowerment. A lot of the housing, a lot of the housing programs they offer, they put you in like what seems like a concentration camp. And
so this is freedom for you.
It's for more freedom.
You got plants.
Yeah.
You got tapestry.
Yeah, I feel like I have more of a way to express my, artist nature and everything.
Is this blowing anybody else's mind? He says, "Well, there's lots of city resources. I don't feel. It feels like concentration camp." My wife said she well, I don't want to talk too much about what she does, but she works with people like this. That I asked, look, is there any way that he's doing drugs and can talk like that? Because when he talked to him, he sounded decently coherent, and my wife was like, yeah, 100%. The problem that a lot of the homeless people, especially in LA, is they don't want to go into the government housing that we pay for because they have to stop doing drugs, God forbid. There's so many comments coming in that are fascinating and very, very good points. David said he should use those building skills to get a construction job. That's a good idea. I would. He says he fixes bikes and all that sort of stuff, but honest to God, I know contractors that are hiring right now. That's a great point, David. Brian, also great point, said, has it been inspected? Is it up to code? I wonder how much he paid for the property that's built on. Well, the last question is no, he didn't pay anything. But that's another great point. If you try to build anything, if I tried to build a small shed in my backyard, in California, I have to get a permit. I don't, by the way, because the rules are stupid. But I technically have to get a permit from the city and then the county to come inspect my dumb little shed. But in a lot of cases, and especially in this terribly run state where they don't check anything, it's much, much easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. Tammy says, can he be taxed? Yeah, another great point. You guys are really on top of it today in the comment section. This is some great questions to be asked. At what point does this guy start paying property taxes? Let me see. Audrey says the government is letting our country become a third world country. What happened to American pride and work ethic? Here's the thing too. I agree with, who was that said that? David. Dude clearly has some construction skills. Might as well go get a job for a contractor looking for someone to work. I guarantee you can still do all your drugs in your own apartment that you can now afford because you're now working. And I don't want to assume that people on the streets are doing drugs, but 99% of them are, or at least the ones that you see. This is nuts. Let's continue on. There's just more of this that just blows my mind, and you have to see. Check this out.
Are you happy?
Yeah, I feel good, man. I feel good. I feel like I'm, kind of being an example for people that's in my situation, letting them know that, just because you are living on the streets doesn't mean that you have to just let go, give everything up.
Where do you
So that was just that. He asked if he was happy, and that's all fine. We'll continue rolling on because I thought this exchange was also fascinating. Check it out.
So people around here seem to like you.
Yeah.
You're a super friendly guy.
Yeah.
But there's other people that are watching this saying this is ridiculous.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know, where they're coming from, or why they believe what they believe. But there was a fire around the corner right here. One of the guys' tents caught on fire, and so that probably puts a nasty stain on it.
Somebody in the comment section said this. Jody said, there absolutely are functional, articulate drug addicts and psychotics. That seems to be true. My wife has some pretty first-person experience with being able to use drugs and also be coherent. That is generally the case. I'm not saying that that's 100% the case here, but 9 times out of 10 it is. Julie asked a question. Where did he get the money for the generator? I don't know. Ruth says, I've never thought of that. Make him pay taxes. That's great. Yeah, she's commenting on the other comments. Bob Another great question. Does he get mail there? I don't know. Does the city allow him to have an address? Because I don't know. That's just how things work nowadays. Pam says, retired teachers here. Thanks for your teaching service, Pam. How in the world is this possible? I have no idea. Let me see. Anthony says, any structure over 8 by 8 feet has to have a permit and inspection in California. This is 100% over 8 by 8. What is that, 64 square feet? Definitely fits in that. He should have the permitting government, whatever, come and, I don't know, decide whether or not he can let that structure stand. And then Gabriel said he should ask the city for solar panels. That's funny also. Yeah, stop using the city will pay for your solar panels. Just why don't you go apply for it and put it on your structure. I could just read comments on here all day. I want to end this kind of this whole thing with this last clip. And this is what everybody is asking. The reporter asked the question of this dude. And this is what's wrong with the entire system. Check it out.
So if an agency came to you and said, Q, we got an apartment for you in Hollywood, indoors, services, job training, health benefits, would you take it?
Well, I want to start my own business, but as far as the apartment situation, I don't know where I'm going to be able to store all my stuff. And then I do a lot of grinding and welding and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's not the best
solution for you.
Yeah, because my generators and my, I kind of like that lifestyle anyway.
All right, Alex Marla, slice of life here in the streets of Hollywood. We'll send it back to you.
He's resourceful.
That's fascinating, Phil. Yeah. Thank you.
Fascinating. Yeah, it is. It is fascinating. Let me see. There was a couple of the, there was a comment. Oh my gosh. I saved so many of these comments that I can't find them anymore. Here it was. Jason talked about Jason's comment earlier. Many homeless people do not want help. I don't know what he means by they do try. Maybe the city. Yeah, the city does try to help people out. There's so many services in California. My wife and I talk about this all the time, that there are so many public services already. To try and enact more is redundant and probably reckless when it comes to spending. But at the same time, when people feel bad about, I feel bad for people who are in tough situations financially. But in California, there are so many resources. All you have to do is comply with some of the rules, like not doing hard drugs. You get drug tested in these places, and if you don't pass the drug test, you can't participate in the program. I think that's a fair trade-off. But a lot of people don't want help, like this guy, again, doesn't want to take any sort of free government housing. He'd rather live on the sidewalk in the middle of a busy metropolitan area. There were some people that commented kind of interesting, too. There was a guy, let me see if I can find it, said, how does he dare to live? Probably insinuating, well, what other choice does he have? I think the people in the comment sections provided a lot of choices. Go get a job, dude. Here's the thing. I believe in this person. There are people out there that tend to want more government everything that would say, well, we need to help him. No, I think this guy can help himself. This clearly has some skills and can build an entire structure on a sidewalk that is movable. There was another clip in that whole piece that he was talking about, like, yeah, the cops said I got to move. So he put the whole thing on wheels and can move it around. That's some pretty good engineering. I believe that this guy can go get a job if he wanted to. I don't think he needs government help. Clearly, guy's kind of innovative. James says, now I understand why my friends and family are fleeing California. Yeah, that's a kind of a standard story here. Anyways, spent a lot of time on that, which I couldn't, my jaw fell and hit the floor with how ridiculous that whole story was. But let's move on to, let's go to this first. This is just a Joe Biden clip. Elaine says it's a mobile home. This is just a Joe Biden clip of him doing a thing talking about inflation. Watch this.
I want to turn to next month's election. You've referred to the midterm election as a choice rather than a referendum.
That's right.
Given record inflation, why should voters choose Democrats?
Because it's not record inflation anymore. I'm bringing it down. Look what we inherited.
Okay, so there's that. When Joe Biden came into office, inflation was at 1.4%, and now it's at 8.2%. Joe Biden says it's not record inflation anymore, so do with that information what you will. Let's see, what else? Also with the Biden administration, I thought this was fascinating. I missed this. I didn't miss this. I just forgot to bring it on. But I feel like this is pretty important. Bill Maloogian from Fox News last Friday at like 11 p.m. Eastern time said in a blatant Friday late night news dump, the CBP, the Customs and Border Patrol, has released the September border numbers revealing that 227,547 migrants encountered, the highest September in DHS history. Fiscal year 2022 ended. So the fiscal year for 2022 in terms of the border crossings ended with 2.3 million encounters, which is the highest ever. And that doesn't include gotaways. So the Biden administration doing a great job on the border by doing absolutely freaking nothing. Also, last, I guess, political thing. I haven't heard anything specifically about Paul Pelosi. I am not a proponent of people getting attacked, really, whoever they are, regardless of who they're married to, who they are, what their political views are. But Paul Pelosi, if you haven't heard this story yet, let me see if there's anything on it. Supposedly was attacked and got taken to the hospital. This is Axios. Nancy Pelosi's husband violently assaulted during a home invasion. The speaker's husband has been hospitalized after a violent assault at their San Francisco home. I hope this was not a politically motivated thing. I don't want this to happen at all. Maybe we'll find out that it was just a homeless junkie, which even then, I know a lot of you will say, well, Nancy Pelosi is creating this in San Francisco and this is what she gets. That's not something that I delve into. That's not cool. The assailant is in custody and the motivation for the attack is still under investigation. This from Axios. I hope he's okay. I hope he recovers. I don't know. That would suck. Hate for that to happen to people. But maybe it would, if it ends up being a rampant homeless person, which this is weird. I don't want to say I want that to be the case, but I really, really don't want it to be a politically motivated thing. I don't like that at all. I hate it a lot. But at the same time, maybe if it were a homeless assailant attacking just kind of a random guy that happened to be the speaker's husband, maybe that would shed some light on how ridiculous some of these cities have gotten. Anyways, on to this. Elon Musk officially owns Twitter. And this is, I'm sure you've heard so much about this already. There's no need to dive into it a ton. Elon Musk officially took control of the social media tech giant. And as he did, he immediately fired Twitter's CEO, Parag Agarwal. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Sorry. The CFO and the head of the legal policy, trust, and safety. Now, they didn't put her name here. It just says her title. But that lady was the person who officially decided that banning Donald Trump from Twitter would be the move that Twitter is going to make. Trump put out a statement. There's so much stuff that's just out there. Like, I think this is true. This kind of makes sense. But Trump, I think, according to a lot of different people, I have not verified that this is an official Trump statement because there's a lot of Trump statements that come out and float around Twitter and get screenshotted that aren't actually legit. But anyways, it said that Elon's going to reinstate Trump's Twitter by Monday. Trump said we will see. Who knows if he actually comes back because he spent a ton of money on his Truth Social app. So there is that. Let's see. Anything. To see in the comments section. No. All right, so yeah, that's that. Elon officially took over. People on the left are freaking out. There's also people on the lefty side of the aisle saying, hey, we should still stay on Twitter. This is our platform. And I don't understand why they're saying this is our platform, but I do agree they should stay on Twitter, and hopefully Twitter becomes more of a town square. I think it's going to go through trial and error. There's a lot of people that are very, very excited about Elon taking over, and I am excited to an extent. But in the same way that I was saying weeks ago, hey, let's be careful of venerating Kanye West. I think we gotta, keep a watchful eye on Elon Musk too, because there are a lot of things that he's gonna have to deal with that I think we just kind of don't quite understand about the tech world. So he said himself, conservatives are going to be just as mad as liberals when he takes over, because it's not a free for all. There's not going to be just rampant everything on the platform. So he says. So there is that. Let's see. Last thing that this happened a couple days ago, but I wanted to make sure we got it on here. Because like I said yesterday, sometimes it's difficult with all of the things going on continually to not do a story because we ran out of time and then try and get it on the next day. But the problem is so much has happened in that 24-hour period that we don't have time the next day too, and it just keeps getting pushed back. But this happened a couple days ago. New York City Supreme Court reinstated 16 fired sanitation workers who did not comply with New York City's vaccination mandate issued October 2021, deciding that they should get back pay. So there's that. The judge found the New York City Commissioner of Health and Mental Hygiene's order requiring vaccinations for city workers violated the New York Constitution's separate powers doctrine and was arbitrary and capricious, and violated the fired workers' equal protection and right to due process. So 16 sanitation workers in New York City got fired, and a Supreme Court judge said, nah, you can't do that. You got to give them back pay. Yeah, that's pretty much that story. There's a bunch of people that are making this a big deal, and it's a big deal, but it's not, groundbreaking. I can't get over this homeless thing, guys. It's blowing my mind currently. If you didn't watch the beginning of this show, actually go watch that entire clip if you feel like it. Maybe I'll link it in the comment section. But holy crap. It is gnarly that somebody can just build something like this on their on the streets of Los Angeles. If you're watching this, you'll see this picture. This is an actual structure. If you just tuned in, this is an actual structure on the sidewalk of LA County, or the city of LA. Wow. I would encourage you to go watch the stream from the beginning, because that's nuts. Anyways, that's going to do it for us today. Appreciate you sticking around, tuning in. It's getting colder nowadays. Got to wear a little flannel in the studio here to keep warm. If you haven't already, give me a follow on any of your social media accounts. Just type in Job. You'll be pretty much everywhere. On Facebook, we are doing Jobob Unlimited, the podcast / talk thing. It's kind of an extension of this show. It generally goes on quite a bit longer, but I bring on guests that you might know, that you might like, that you might dislike, and we just talk about current events, kind of like what we do here, but more of a less structured on that show. And then some of you might think, wait, do you think this show is structured? No, I don't. I feel like I should have to apologize on some days for how lack of structure this show has. But anyways, yeah, that's where you can find that other show. So find me on Facebook, just Jobob, and you can check out kind of the extended version. We do most days. We're not. James has been watching for a while. Fix the Chiron. You're right, James. I haven't. That Chiron is wrong. If you're in on the inside joke and you sit and watch every day, one, appreciate you doing that, and two, you get to be in on all of our little inside jokes. Jody, thanks so much. Joe says Jobob Unlimited is awesome so far. Yesterday we had Lydia Leiterman. She was the former producer of the Tim Pool Timcast IRL. If you don't know who Tim Pool is, go check that guy out. He's phenomenal. She produced the show for a very long time, came in and had some really, really great insight. So that show is up wherever you listen to podcasts. But anyways, I'll stop jabbering on. Have a great weekend, guys. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. No Jobob Unlimited show today because we're going to Phoenix to film an overnight shoot. and I'm going to be very, very tired tomorrow morning, just in time for my wife to want me to make me do house projects. But we will see you Monday, same time, same place. God bless America.